if you were so inclined, I mean, you could go over and inspect this bucket. You can kind of walk behind it. You can kind of see, oh, it's just a regular bucket. But if you want to shoot it, you can shoot it and it just turns into a pile of mess.
I'm Xanderwood. I make indie games and tutorials on game development. I also play your indie games every week on my channel. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell icon so you never miss a video.
Before we start, just a massive shout out to my Patreons, James Welch and Selwyn. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting my game dev journey. I just want to remind you that I am hosting a game jam in just over a week's time. It's already up live on itch. My absolute dream would be to make it more successful than the last one. The last time we had 42 people take part and 22 people submitted a game. If we could do just even one better than that this time, that would be amazing. There's a link in the description. Head on over to itch, get signed up, and let's go. I will be playing all the submitted games on my channel in a best of the jam video. I'll even pick my favorite, and you can even feature on the Xander Jam Wall of Fame. But enough about that, let's get on with the devlog. Not a huge amount to update from last week. I have been taking part in 2 game jams simultaneously, and that has taken up quite a chunk of my time, I'm not gonna lie. But it's fun, and I will continue to do them because it's fun. So let me show you what I've changed since last time. If I hit play, you can start level 2A, if this is the path that you end up taking from level 1. Cowboy's anticipating the doors, and they open. You get a prompt to use the mouse. Obviously I've gone through this in previous devlogs. You can shoot, that's not a new thing. This is a new thing. I've added a drone in from level 1 that's going to patrol. The searchlight isn't going to overlap all of the buildings. It's just like that at the moment because that's what I've had time to do in terms of testing it out. If I walk in, I get shot, and you can see I flash, I take a bit of damage, my heart's decreased by 1. I can take another hit. The drone it's not that accurate on me at the moment. And then I've got 1 heart left, and then if I take a final hit, I die. That still needs a little bit of tweaking, there's a few bugs in it, but it's more or less how it's going to work. These drones aren't going to be all the enemies in level 2, there is going to be some variety. We're going to have guards patrolling, there's going to be different types of drones, or kind of androids I suppose, or kind of machines that will attack you. There's going to be a bit more firing at you than just those things because the cowboy has weapons, and this is going to be more of a kind of fight your way through the level as well as sneak past certain things kind of level, I suppose. If I replay, I can also fight back, so we can shoot this thing now. If we're good enough, it has hit points, you can eventually destroy it. The sound doesn't quite link up, but again, that's just placeholder at the moment, just so I know that it's working. What I've done in terms of the cowboy's functionality, he can now attack and destroy an enemy. He can also die. I now need to populate the level with certain enemies with certain paths, which is a bigger task, but that's kind of the next big thing that I'm going to be working on. The only other thing I've done is add some sprites in off the back of all the feedback that I got in a previous video. I've been working through those suggestions one by one, so I've now put a washer-dryer combo in the utility room with a basket. This is the same sprite, so if I double click it, one frame is empty, 1 frame is filled, and it's just simple pixel art really. And then I just set that one to 1 and set that one to the other. And then these washer dryers is the same thing. Again, one of them is frame 1. I've actually put those in the crates. Just as another frame, so the crate animation, or not the crate animation, the crate sprite has all these different frames in that animation, and I just set the speed of it to 0. Same with the mop and bucket and the puddle. I've put in again the bucket in a bottom and a top half like I did with the bunk bed, so you can walk behind some of it and in front of it on the others. And then I've got the puddle, and then I've got these hazmat suits which hang up on the wall. You can see those over there in place. They're just individual sprites, so I can put them wherever I want. And that's pretty much it. I've got this puddle of water. Oh, one cool thing you can do in here, let me just play. If you were so inclined, I mean, you could go over and inspect this bucket. You can kind of walk behind it. You can kind of see, oh, it's just a regular bucket. But if you want to shoot it, you can shoot it, and it just turns into a pile of mess on the floor. And then you can just walk over it, and there's no longer a collision there. Obviously, if you leave the room and come back, the bucket is magically back to normal, which I don't want to happen, but I'll figure that out as I go, but it's not too hard of a fix. But that's pretty much what I've got up to this week with the game. Not a huge amount to report, but I appreciate you sticking around and watching the video nonetheless. I will be continuing to add more and more detail to the level in terms of these little sprites, just a bit of flavour so that you walk into a room, you know, there's a little bit more to do, a bit more to look at. There may be interactions with these things where you can wash the clothes, I don't know. You might be able to put on one of these suits. Wouldn't that be cool if you could wear one as a disguise, and if you're disguised as one? I don't know, there's plenty of things we can do with it. I guess we're kind of making it up a little bit as we go along in terms of what you can do and what you can't do in each level, but none of these things are out of the question. But I will be back next week with more of an update. I'll have more of these little sprites done by next week, and I will probably be continuing to build in the functionality around the cowboy interacting with enemies and death and all of that sort of stuff as well. So if you made it this far, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the next devlog.